Hey, soul survivors, we are going to talk about, can I find love again? When's it going to happen? And what does the future hold? So, during the healing journey, we have to go through the 5 stages of grief. Sometimes it's extremely painful. It can hurt more than the actual breakup or the abuse that happened in the relationship. But moving forward, what's going to happen? So, we do have to take control over our mind and our vibrations. So I used to think this vibration thing is BS. I'm going to do another video repeat of my rice experiment because there is something to this vibration. And that rice experiment, you have your love, your hate, and I did a neutral jar of rice. And I screamed at one, gave love to the other, and the other one I just let go. And I didn't know how long to do this experiment, but all of those opened and they were fine, except the hate one that I gave this angry vibration to. And it had a pop when I opened it. It's a mason jar with a lid and it stunk. So I want to know about the vibrations because I know when I have a shift in my vibrations, things go my way. And the reason I did that experiment was because you know how certain buildings have a certain vibe and you feel a certain way, or going down different neighborhoods, you got this vibe. And what causes that? Because I've been in certain areas that are, let's say, urban, kind of dilapidated, and certain ones feel safe, certain ones feel extremely dangerous. What is causing this vibration? And also, like the sonic type of sound that we can't hear type torture type stuff that they do. So there's all these vibrations. And I also wanted to know about different musics because they affect your mood different ways. They also had those sleep apps where you can hear different sounds and they can either soothe you. Some people get hyper. There's also ASMR, all these kind of things with sound and vibrations. But when we raise our vibration, we are going to attract like vibration people. So when we're down and out, that's what we're going to attract. And also, it's kind of like self-sabotage or self-fulfilling prophecy that our outlook on things will either hinder us from finding someone or bring it to us in abundance. And also, the vibration we're at is going to attract the people that we don't necessarily want, because we want to be back to our whole self, because that's when we're going to feel alive again. And we're going to be living a lie if we settle. So it's really interesting too how the less done up I am or normal clothes wearing. Sometimes when I'm kind of in a slump or whatever, don't necessarily shower, wake up and maybe comb my hair, maybe not, and just wear sweats, things like that, that I get hit on a lot more. And it's probably seen as less intimidating or easy, or maybe subconsciously like a pity thing, like I could save this girl. But it's a different vibration, and it's not uh you know I don't need saving. I don't need a pity party. I want to live my true authentic self, and sometimes you're just kind of off, so you don't want to attract off people if that makes any sense. So when we look towards the future, um, we all have little insecurities about whatever. So if you're focusing on, am I getting too old, or is my body out of shape, or, I don't have enough money, or nobody's gonna like me because I'm a heavy drinker, or whatever it is in your life. So if you recognize certain things that you might need to change, ease up on the drinking. And I had this one guy who he was a smoker, and he was really upset that these girls didn't want to date him because he was a smoker. And they're entitled to feel that. And, either you accept that people aren't going to accept you for certain actions that you do, or you change to have a healthier lifestyle. And be careful on who you pick too, because different addictions can cause problems in a relationship. They can also cause health problems, and you might be the caretaker for this person. So it's a clean slate. We're looking for a new love. And when we're down on ourselves, it's going to change our vibration. And when we look forward with a positive attitude, positivity comes into our lives. Just like if you went into a job interview where you're like, yeah, you probably have better candidates, but I had the schooling and I could probably, do a good job if you gave me a chance, and the kids were good, but I'm a little nervous about kids. They're going to pick up on the insecurities. They're going to pick up on the lack of self-esteem, as opposed to, hey, this is my first year teaching, and I can't wait to do this. I've got the education. I'm ready to start. It's just a different vibration, same education, same, job, all those things, but on how we handle ourselves. And over time, it starts to become more accustomed to who you are, to, in a sense, fake it till you make it. If you don't feel like going out there, it's still okay to go out there. And when you live in the moment, instead of like, geez, I'm all alone and it sucks, that you live in the moment. And the places that you go, we have to uh, think about, are we going to the right type of place to meet someone? And, there's no perfect answer to that. You can go to church. Doesn't necessarily mean the right type of people go there. There are broken people that go to church, but maybe they share a faith with you. Or, if you go to a bar, think about the type of people that go to the bar. Either there are good people that go to a bar, but there are a lot of people that just want a quick hookup, or they're depressed. And so bringing a depressed person into your life can be, where misery loves company. And, since it is a fresh start for us and a new beginning, let's get ourselves off on the right type of foot, that we're not there to save somebody. We're there to have a relationship, joint communication. And, we know what the red flags are. And it's okay to, keep in contact with me or the channel and ask, what do you think? Do you think this is a red flag? A lot of times we still want to see the best in people. And sometimes, somebody cancels and says, their grandma died. Maybe that did happen, but we've dealt with narcissists, so we might be hyper vigilant, and that is a trauma response. So when we go into these new relationships, we have to give the new people the benefit of a doubt, but we also have to be cautious, and that can kind of be tricky in the beginning. But don't bring your previous anger into the new relationship, because that's going to push that person away. Also, I know when you're in a depressed state or anxious state, you are going to react to people in a different way, even if you don't mean to. That they can ask, how you doing? And you're going to be like, I'm fine. I'm fine. And you can be dismissive or snap. Like I said, I'm fine. Just, I'm doing good. Okay. And it's going to push people away, as opposed to living in the moment. And, you could say, oh, I woke up late, but it's going to be a great day. It's going to change who is in your life. And in a way, we can kind of practice by reconnecting with people or going to new places and doing new things. And sometimes, we might be missing our certain person, but we're not giving the people who want to be in our lives the right kind of chance. So sometimes, I wish I could remember it. I was watching CNN. It's always on. But they were saying how many people are lonely. I want to say 70% is popping into my head. Or don't have one friend. And I want to say it was 70% of people said that they don't have one true friend. That sounds really high, but that number for some reason is in my head, where they don't feel that they have a true friend. And, if you've dealt with a narcissist, a lot of times you had that isolation. So sometimes we might have to like really start completely new. And um, I started going to dance classes. I'm 53 years old and I love it. My mother, she does knitting classes. There are activities through your church that can be free, or synagogue, mosque, whatever you guys go to. And there's a lot of free activities. Maybe when it's a little nicer out, not quite so cold. I'm in Michigan in January. But um, go to a free activity. Actually, next weekend, I'm going ice skating outside, and I am going with friends. But sometimes if you go alone, to just kind of, talk to people. And I talked to this one guy last time I went roller skating, and we had a great conversation, and it was pretty deep. And you could tell he just needed somebody to talk to. Um, it was a real devastating story that he was going through, and he was so thankful. So sometimes we can just be a friend to someone, and eventually, we're going to start meeting more and more people, and maybe somebody's going to click with us. So whether it's a romantic interest that we're going to gain from it, or a new friend, um, it's a journey. And that man and I will probably run into each other again. So I have a friend out there now. Not interested in dating him, but I learned some pretty cool things from him that I never knew before. Some things that would help me with my business, some things about the town, and it just enriches my life. So maybe, you never know, but maybe that encounter can fill me up with knowledge. So when I meet somebody else, I can pass along that knowledge, and maybe that's my person. So each and every encounter we have, we get to grow, we get to learn, we get to experience people. And I'll tell you what, in that moment, I was not sad, I was not depressed, I was not anxious. I was living in the moment and enjoying it. So I wasn't necessarily looking for a love interest. And I was just out there enjoying life. So the more that we enjoy life, the more we can bring to the table, the more we'll have to talk about. So when Mr. Right comes along and he's like, "What do you like to do?" You're like, "I don't know. I'm just depressed." And I said, "At home, I used to sew, I used to do this, but now we have a lot of things to talk about now when we're out there doing things." So have a positive attitude. No, it is okay to be alone. It is okay to be alone, living by yourself, doing things on your own, but don't become a recluse. Don't completely isolate yourself. And I saw something from Jim Carrey, and he deals with depression. And he said depression is deep rest, that sometimes we need to be depressed. Our body does kind of shut down. It does give us a chance to recuperate, but it can also become addicting to where we get used to it. Laws of physics, objects in motion stay in motion. It's also the same in reverse, that if you start getting used to not doing anything, you're going to go down that path. So keep yourself motivated. It does take uh, mindfulness to do that, but do it as a gift to yourself. And the right person, is out there, but we have to handle it the right way. Are we going to bars to find them? Are we staying at home? We're not going to find them at home. Are we purposely searching? That's going to put anxiety into it and scare people away. So just live your life. What's meant for you will happen. We can't force certain things, because then we're going to be too anxious, or maybe we're going to start love bombing, or being off-putting to the new person, because they're going to sense who we are. And I went to this deliverance thing where it's supposed to like rid your body of evil spirits. And so I went there to kind of understand what it was. Are demons really possessing certain people? I'll do a video on that separate, but it makes you wonder the things that I saw that night. But I didn't necessarily feel what, like a demon leaving, because we all have certain demons and trying to understand what the narcissist is. Is it just a demon overtook them, or is it just an evil trait that they have? So, um, it's New Year's Eve. It's late. I lost my train of thought. But so with I wish I could remember. But our focus will make or break our future. And the deliverance thing, why did I bring that up? Oh, I know. So they were saying that they asked me if I was like they they were saying, I wonder if you have a like a spirit demon husband or something like that. And I'm like, what? This was my sister's friends who asked that because they don't know me. They met me that day. And I've been single, kind of had two little relationships that, you attract the same thing and if you don't change who you are. So pretty similar situation. And so uh, um they were saying that if you had like this demon husband, spirit husband, whatever they called it, that um it'll attract or detract, it'll keep people away from you. So now I think what they are trying to say is not necessarily like a demon. You know how we struggle with, my demon is smoking cigarettes, or my demon is this, or my demon is being lazy. It's not necessarily a spiritual thing, but it's a vibration kind of thing. So I think what they were saying is my husband is one of my exes. And that when you're caught up in that, it's like a block because my heart isn't open to a new relationship, and people can feel the closed offness. And another video I saw was about who owns you, who owns you. And in a sense, my ex owned me, even though I wasn't talking to him, seeing him, interacting with him. He owned me because, I wake up sad, or I can't get motivated, or it's affecting me at work, or I'm forgetful because my mind is cluttered with the rumination that we've gone through. So it's like a spiritual bind where you're not living free. You're within the confines of somebody owning you, where they own your soul almost. And we need to break free from that to where we can live our own authentic, true life. And that's where we're going to attract what we're meant to attract. So have faith that it's out there. We got this time to work on ourselves, to overcome the trauma, to heal from that. And it's important to do that because, for one, it'll feel better. Eventually, you're going to feel lighter, happier. Things are going to fall into place so much easier. But until then, we had to rewire our brains. And there was damage done to our brain. That's why it's so uncomfortable. There's damage done to our bodies. And the more we heal, the better we're going to feel, more the physiological responses are going to alleviate. There's people who have been diabetic or high blood pressure or different kinds of things where once they got rid of that toxic person, it was alleviated. So definitely keep in contact with your doctor. I'm not telling you to stop anything, but as far as medical advice, but there's a lot of success stories. So if you guys have had a success story, whether you're no longer diabetic or your inflammation is gone, there are things that will start to feel better, your motivation. And, you know, it gets to being whole again. And that alone is life changing. even if the perfect person doesn't come into your life. There are no perfect people. They have that 80-20 rule that I talked about, but where 80% is really good and 20% can't expect perfection. But if somebody's willing to work with you, there's hope. But with a narcissist, whew, that's a lot of work and it doesn't pay off because the narcissist is all about themselves. So right now, we're going to go on a healing journey. Let me know how I can help you. And we're going to find the love we're meant to have. And we're going to start with loving ourselves. Hope that was helpful. One-on-ones are available. Please like and subscribe. Comment below. That helps. And share if this will help somebody you know.